What's up, Mac Nostalgia? Dave here with a review of The Accountant 2, the action thriller film from Gavin O'Connor, starring Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal. The Accountant 2. This film is the sequel to the 2016 film The Accountant, starring Ben Affleck, Bernthal reprising his role now in a co-lead fashion for the sequel. And yeah, I think the common first refrain with this has been that no one was really clamoring for a sequel to The Accountant, which it's an amusing film to get a sequel, of course. I think The Accountant was a, solidly received film back in 2016. But to have a sequel come out, you look under the hood a little bit, it makes some sense, right? This is produced by Artist Equity, Damon and Affleck's company. Seen what they wanted to make it, and they made it happen. I think that is pretty cool. And while not everyone is returning from the first film, Anna Kendrick is not back once again, you do have this film returning in I think, an intriguing fashion. And the funniest thing about it is The Accountant 2 has been pretty warmly received. This film has been more warmly received than the first one, despite the fact that everyone thought this was a complete unnecessary, unasked for sequel. So it's, I think, a pretty unexpected development, obviously in a good way. The Accountant 2 is better than its predecessor because it smartly pairs Ben Affleck's autistic accountant character with his charming, roguish brother played by Jon Bernthal. The film is now a Affleck-Bernthal two-hander, and the chemistry that they have between each other is really genuine, and Bernthal is just such a charming performer that the movie has a lot of heart and a lot more than you would have expected. Is the action thriller stuff of that much interest? No, not really. It doesn't really descend into full-on action till the very end. Is there much depth to its human trafficking plot? Like, are you really connected to a lot of those other ancillary characters? No, not really. But the key dynamic between Affleck and Bernthal, and just watching them be together, whether they're shooting the shit, whether they're mad at each other, whether they're staying loyal to one another, all of that actually really works. I think there's also a lot of fun. Obviously, a lot of stuff's quite ridiculous, but there's a lot of fun elements to the world of The Accountant. Of course, again, Ben Affleck's character, Christian Wolf, is this freelance accountant for criminal enterprises and cartels and mafias and things like that, in terms of uncooking their books to look for fraud and who's stealing from them and stuff. It's a fun enough premise, but I love the inclusion of this school for gifted savant type children, children with these interesting gifts that need crafting, right? I love how there's this super team of kids that can hack into anything. It's just a fun aspect of the world, and how Affleck's partner, his oracle behind the scenes, is able to contact them and use them, and you're openly rooting for them to hack into normal people's cameras and computers and stuff to help save the day. A lot of that I think is actually quite enjoyable, and there's some fun humor alongside all that. And bringing in Bernthal to the fore. Remember, he was kind of an antagonist, supporting antagonist in the first movie, and now he's brought in pretty early to help support Christian on this larger journey to help rectify this problem. And it again is the genesis of a lot of the plot, something you're super connected to. Not really. You have J.K. Simmons reprising his role from the first movie. He's this head of the U.S. Treasury that actually uncovered Wolf's identity. He, in between movies, got attached to this Mexican family who was migrating, trying to immigrate to the U.S., and ran in with the cartels, and bad things happened. And we're not really connected to a lot of that plot, even though it really drives us forward. But again, I think having Bernthal to play off Affleck, right? Because Affleck's playing an autistic character. I think he does a pretty good job. I think it's a pretty compellingly restrained performance, but there's a lot of humor. Nothing's ever at the expense of, him being autistic and not perceiving and understanding certain social dynamics, right? Nothing's ever played for laughs in a negative way. I think it's actually in a charming, positive fashion, to be honest. And then you have Bernthal's character, who, him struggling to have a relationship with his brother because his brother is not able to express affection and care in the traditional way. It feels like a real genuine character dynamic, And I mean, the introduction of Bernthal in this movie, where he's doing some hitman job, because that's what his character is, this freelance hitman for for criminals and whatnot. having him do this like hilarious like rant and like help hype himself up in his underwear in his hotel. Like again, like this guy just can really sell anything. He's just such a charmer. And you just think about like what Bernthal's up to these days. I mean, he's just seemingly in everything, right? Like he has a 2-scene role in The Amateur, the Rami Malek spy thriller, and he's great in that. Of course, he had a 2-episode, role in Daredevil Born Again season 1, returning as the Punisher. Great in that. Obviously, we know he'll be back for a 1-episode flashback cameo in The Bear season 4, whenever that comes out. And then again, unexpected, least hyped of them all, you have him being the saving grace of the Accountant sequel and the reason why it's better than the first one. I mean, the guy's crushing. It's great. So yeah, like I don't think there's not much to analyze or think about with the plot and the dynamics and any of that with the Accountant 2, but it's really just about these two characters and how they play off each other, and it's like the chemistry and the relationship is fun stuff. To be honest, I really enjoyed the movie. Wasn't expecting too much, but it definitely exceeded my expectations. Let me know though, what did you think of The Accountant 2? Were you also pleasantly surprised like seemingly most people were? Let me know. And for more movie reviews, subscribe. I'll see you next time.